And what's up, guys? Skitty here, and that should not have happened. Um, Today I am with another video for exporting APB models. Boy, randoms. Um, Basically, I guess first of all, if you need help with something, make sure you go to the exporting model APB models thread. Anything on the G1 forums for APB. Anything. The title is quite clearly there. It is located here under creations under the APB related English forums. And looks like this clearly has all fancy buttons and things. Gonna post your help issues here, or maybe you're someone who knows what the hell you're doing, could help us with something. Um, just post any help you need here. Do not PM anyone in game. Probably don't PM anyone on the forums. Just any help should go into this thread directly. No fans or buts. And please, for the love of God, do not post cropped images. The reason for this is because when you post a crop image, we can't see what your issue is really, because it's like, oh, hey, all my models are, all black and everything. Like in this image, you can't see a HUD and everything. So it's like, oh, hey, all your models are all black and everything. I can't tell you what the issue is because I can't see your goddamn HUD, or your UI rather. So if you're gonna post an image with help, please post your entire user interface. You can do this by pressing your Alt and Print scheme keys together on the active window. So if you're using Blender, you just want to have the active window open, hit Alt Print Screen, and then just paste into Paint or whatever program you want to use, save it, upload it somewhere, and include that in your posts for help and everything, so we can actually see, you know, what's going on. Maybe there's something wrong. Maybe there isn't something wrong. Maybe you just did something weird. Just that's the tip for you. So if you want help, post here. Do not post crop screenshots. Just give us a full UI so we can actually help you, because maybe you have something off on the side that's incorrect. You know, um, everything for this video, all of the stuff you need will be for. Well, actually no. Everything you need will be posted in the description. I think what you're gonna need: the advanced launcher, first and foremost. You're gonna need Noises, Ninja Ripper, Noises and Ninja Ripper. I've uploaded. You're gonna need Sage Thumbs so you can actually view your .dds files. That's something you can actually just Google Sage Thumbs, and like the first link you see should pop up with that. I think, yeah. If you're gonna use Photoshop for something, you'd probably want to download the oh boy, you're gonna need to download the NVIDIA DDS plugin for Photoshop if you use Photoshop. If you know how to use GIMP, then there's a plugin for that too. I have no clue how to work GIMP, or not GIMP, but Paint.net, so I wouldn't probably risk it with that. What? Well, Ninja Ripper. There are two variants of that one. And I've uploaded both of them, and they both come with Noises, which already has the Ninja Ripper plugin installed into it. So, as you see here, I have Ninja Ripper New and, well, Ninja Ripper and Ninja Ripper New. I'm loaded into the new one right now, and, well, for me, the new one causes performance issues. So, be cautious about that. If you run into performance issues, you can download the old one, and that'll work fine. They do the same thing. There's no difference between them in terms of, what they do. They rip the exact same thing. There's no quality difference. There's really no ease of effort difference even. If you do use the new version, well, let's start with the old version. If you use the old version, it's just flat out this. Just click on this. Ripper.exe. The exe, the target application you want would be, oh boy, APB main executive file. should be under, well, if you run Steam, it'd be like Steam apps, common, APB related, binaries, anything APB, you can see right there. You just want to click that, open it, and then, well, for the command line argument, this, well, for me, I don't need this, which is something I've learned. For some people, though, you might need it. Dash no STEAM. No Steam. If you run Steam, this will disable the Steam overlay. If you don't run Steam, don't need this argument. Generally, you do not actually need this argument in the first place. For whatever reason, I've no difference in rips. I mean, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't have anything to do with anything. It doesn't even do anything aside from disable Steam. So I guess if you don't want your people to know you're ripping people who are playing APB, you can use that. Output directory, by default, it'll output into the binaries folder, but you can set that wherever. I think mine's in the documents folder. My rip key is F8, but by default, I think it's F10 and F9. And for textures, by default, it should be intruder. So that's done. Before you actually start to rip things, though, you will need to get the advanced launcher, which I keep forgetting to do first. Let's see, advanced launcher. When I go get the advanced launcher, which I will link in the description. Once you download and install that properly, mind you, the advanced launcher, just the what is it? Just the advanced launcher and game launcher.dll will need to go into your main folder. Just click on that. It'll load up this. The first thing you want to do is go to settings. And, well, really, you don't need to mess with anything else aside from taking this slider and just, well, if your computer can handle it, you'd want to do ultra quality, because that'll just slide everything up to the maximum, almost maximum. Clearly, particle space is the only thing it doesn't go to max on. That'll just allow you to, that just gives you a preset and everything. If you don't want to do that, what you're explicitly going to need to do, and just so you know, this is something you do have to do if you want, I guess, the easiest rip method with proper textures and everything. Compat options. Then you want to disable all of these compress textures. Every last one of them cannot be on, because that compresses textures. It makes them look like crap. And normals, if you remember the last method of ripping things, the normals, whenever you ripped from the game world, came out orange. This is because they were compressed. And by turning off compressed normal textures, they aren't compressed anymore. Self-explanatory. They come out blue, like they should. They come out bluish purple. And that's how you want them. And, well, once you save that, you can just start APB through the advanced launcher. That will load in all the settings. Once you get to the main menu and everything where you log in, you just close the game, then come back, set up Ninja Ripper in case you closed it and it resets all your settings. Then run once you get into APB, and it's not punk bus to kick me. Once you get into APB, just load into social, pick the outfit you want, and just go into a corner. Now, the old method of doing this, right quick, was we had to do a rip from a corner for the mesh, and then we had to do a rip from inside a kiosk for the textures, because that's the only place the normal textures aren't compressed. And if you had a friend that you wanted to rip, like I do here, Teacup, they'd be forced to have normal orange normals. Otherwise, you know, they could rip themselves and you'd probably get normal normals, but they probably don't know how to do that. Now, all you have to do, as of the advanced launcher, disabling normals and whatnot, compression, all you have to do is just go find a nice, cozy little corner with the outfit you want, and I'm going to rip T here with me as well. I'm going to disable the HUD. Zoom in as much as you can so you get as little on the screen as you can. Try to angle it so that nothing else except for you, whoever else you want in the rip, and the map is on your frame, because it's going to rip the map too. And anything that's on your screen and is connected to anything on your screen is going to get pulled. Simple as that. Even if you can't see it, if it's a floor below you, it'll still get ripped. Now, all you want to do is just hit your rip key. Your game will freeze for a second, like so. And then it'll just resume, and you'll be done. Now, if you want your vehicle, you'll have to... God, these performance issues. This is what the new Ninja Ripper has done to my game anytime I use it. So, if you don't want these issues, you should probably use the old one. Now, to rip a vehicle from the game, you just need to get to the vehicle kiosk. Once that loads up, just pick the vehicle you want. Totes. Just find the vehicle you want. Let's go with this. You ripped it anyways. Once you find a vehicle you want, just... Vehicles, actually, right quick. Vehicles require multiple rips because there are things you cannot see that are still loaded into the game that don't get pulled with a normal rip because you can't see them. First thing I'm going to do is form a normal rip. F8, game will freeze, shadows will re-render, anything, and nothing will change. Then you'll need to perform a texture rip. And right quick, when you do this, you want to press the key twice, but give it a second. So I'll hit it once, game will freeze, or rather a menu will pop up. And then it's ripped everything I can see. It's on my screen. I just hit it again to shut it off, because if you don't, it will continue to rip everything you look at. And it'll actually get to the point where as it's loading in models, it'll start ripping individual textures from a model, and that'll actually screw up your texture rip. And the whole purpose of the texture rip is it'll get you the vehicle emissions, it'll get you the vehicle scratch texture, it'll get you the vehicle dirt textures too, if I'm not mistaken. If anything, it'll get you the emission textures. So if you want lights on your vehicle, you have that. And I do know that some of the emission textures are a bit broken. So if you have Photoshop, you can fix that. But try not to alter the resolution unless you're a pro, And then with that, you're done. If you want a gun, all you have to do is go into an actual mission district, stand in a corner with the gun you want, and then rip. It'll be straightforward like that. But you don't necessarily need to do that unless you don't have what English. Don't need to do that because Bridget has a texture or a weapons pack with all the guns in APB as of recent. Obviously, everything has textures. Every weapon skin is also with that. But because of how APB is designed, weapon skins, weapon skins will have to be custom done. Might require some Photoshop. I think I remember in 09, and the color palette for some strange reason. Yeah, thanks, Jen. So stupid suggestion completely ruins my ability to rip things. Yeah, that's something you don't need to see. Once you're done, you have all your rips. Hopefully my porn doesn't pop up. Oh, thank God. You just go to your rips folder. If it's your first rip, it'll just be one file. If it's not, it'll have to find it. They are organized by date and everything, so it goes day, month, year, and then hours, minutes, seconds, and everything, so you get the exact time at which you ripped. But that's not where our rip is. Our rip is over here. Yes. And as you can see, there's a frames folder which contains both rips, and there's a textures folder which contains all the fucking goddamn it textures. Certainly that's gonna be fun. I'll let that load. This is where Sage Thumbs would actually come in, because this is what Sage Thumbs will do. The hell did it rip? It will allow you to view, because these are all DDS textures, and as you can see, I have it set up to open in Photoshop by default. And, well, all DDS textures, Sage Thumbs will allow you to view these and everything, so let's see, if you have that, everything will just start loading in. Ignore that for now. We want the frames we ripped, so let's go here. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is, once you've got that ripped, open noises. I can close Ninja Ripper now, actually. Fuck. Where is it? There at the bottom here. Frames. Now, since I've ripped me and a friend, presumably, quote unquote, gotta find the textures. Now, body, character body, vehicle body, and generally weapons as well, if you rip them, will be at the top here. As you can see, that's someone's hairstyle. I think that's T's. That's mine. This is, I was wearing a skirt, so this is the face plus part of the skirt. This is my character body. This is T's face, obviously. T's body, and then at the very bottom will be eyelashes. Eyelashes are almost always going to be 11 kilobytes. Oh, and wow, I forgot that too. Ninja Ripper. Since it already comes with the plugin, all you have to do is find the Ninja Ripper .rip plugin. Where the hell that is again? Yeah, at the very top. Okay, it'll be under Ninja Ripper .rip. That way you only view the Ninja Ripper files. Otherwise, you'll end up viewing textures too, which, if you don't mind that, then whatever. Yeah, these are eyelashes. Since there's two of us, 2 sets of eyelashes. And the hard part about this, doing multiple character rips, is that eyelashes and hair, if you and the other person have the same eyelash and hairstyle, it's going to be a real fun time picking out who's. Real fun. Let's see. Stuff, under equipment, I have everything organized here. Let's see, who's first? I'll make Skitty first. I think, the hell is this one? Anytime now. I already have both characters ripped, so... Oh, that's the whole thing. Jesus Christ. Skirt jacket. Let's just make it skirt jacket. Okay. Now then, for textures, as you can see, I already have the only textures I need here. Let's zoom in on some of these. There we go, all nice and big. First of all, though, let's get all these textures exported. I am not going to do eyelashes, because fuck that. Or anything, but as you do meshes, let's start at the top here. Find them again. That's T's hair. This should be my hair. Yes, okay. This is my hair. When I go right click, export, browse, to where I want these to go. Equipment, layers, skitty, skirt jacket. And what is this? This is the hair. So I'm going to replace hair. Now, before you think you're done, make sure to always tick flip UVs. Don't know why. Well, actually, yes, I actually know why. Then once you're done, click export. Then rinse and repeat for everything else. This is the face, so this would be here. And if your character is wearing a skirt, well, if your female character is wearing a skirt or something like it, a lot of the times you'll have the face and then you have the skirt. That's just how it rips whenever you get it set up in your 3D exporting program. It'll appear normal-like. Oh, males will appear with the face. They always appear with the face and like the tip of their shoes for some strange reason. And that exported. Body. And then essentially I'd just do the same thing for T, but nobody likes T, so screw him. That'd be all the mesh textures. Now then, textures. Let's go back to frames here. This is frame 1. Let all these load in. Now, your hair diffuse will look something like this. It'll just look like some hair texture, really red. That's the only hair texture there is. Well, next to the other one, which is white and black, or grayscale, rather. There's 2 of these in every rip, but from what I'm aware of, you only need 1. But you can pull both of them if you need them. Not sure what both of them do, but stuff. This is your normal. It is blue, and it contains both the normal and the diffuse, which is located here, contain alpha data. The diffuse contains specular data, so that determines what objects will be shiny, what objects will be metallic, what objects will be a matte color, more fabric color, stuff like that, and everything. And then your normal texture over here contains the transparency alpha data and everything. As you can see, there's white squares around the necklace and the skirt over there. That's everything else is just solid blue. That's the actual transparency data set. And then over here, this is all semi-transparent like, because it contains specular, but it's how Sage Thumbs interprets it that'll make it appear transparent like that. And then this last texture is your eyelashes. If you are a female, your eyelashes will look like this. If they're a male, they'll appear shorter. So remember that. Males have a shorter eyelash texture than females do. And, well, that's all the textures you actually need. Okay, over here, let's see. Can you spot all the textures we need? Let's see, yeah, here's our hair texture. Here are our normals for me and T. Let's see. Oh, this is a nice little thing. If you rip a bunch of junk, everything, when Photoshop actually decides it wants to load, it does now, you can use this little image here to, reference what you have in the scene, really, if you can remember that off the top of your head. All these are light maps, rather. As you can see here, this is everything I ripped in the scene, but its contrast is completely screwed. Other object textures from inside the scene, mostly light mapping. Here's the hair textures. You only need, whoopsie daisy, only need this one, the more spread out looking one. But if you want to pull both, go for it. These are your diffuses right here, which contain all the color data and the specular data. and this is your eyelash. Since there's only all female characters use the same eyelash textures. If the hair textures are the same, they will all use the same hair diffuse, which is this red one. Generally, it will all be the same color, but it'll have like a different layout to it, generally, or different like color shades. But it's almost always the same color. Sometimes it's a brighter shade, sometimes it's a darker shade. That's just how the system is. And every hair texture comes with one of these black and white ones. So there's nothing specific there. If you do pull multiple text characters, then you probably just want to copy these and put them in their book folders. And yeah, that's characters. Alright, now we do vehicles. Now vehicles might be a little bit trickier for the textures because there's a lot more specular going on there. Further. Let's see, this was the Enforcer version, so yeah. Alright, as you can see here, I have two emission, or at least I think it's two emission textures. I know one of them is emission texture, and that would be this one. Just all this transparency with all these little colored bits. And if you take a closer spectrum, this is the Growls emission texture set. It's really small. This is its default size. Don't know why. But it usually appears perfectly fine, so it's not really a big deal. As you can see, you have just bumper lights and everything. Headlights, tail lights, enforcer lights are always in this little section. Doesn't matter what car you have, criminal or enforcer, it will have enforcer lights just sitting there. I think those might be, well, I think one of those might be correlated to the, what was it? The headlights. Is this should probably be an emission texture set too? Yes, okay, this is another emission texture for the interior. And everything, although getting that one working has not yet been found for, well, us Blender users. Now then, well, while that loads, let's go back over here. As you can see, it's pulled a crap ton of textures, like a real crap ton of textures. God damn. But as you can see, you know, hair textures are here, some normals from other characters that were near the scene. I even got textures of other characters that were near the scene. Here are male eyelashes, as you can see. Females are long, males are short. You can also rip symbols this way. Those look like ass, but yeah, those are ass. Well, if you want actual separate symbols rather than ripping them this way, you'd be better off ripping them. Well, not ripping them, but having an older copy of the game, like a retail copy, and using one of the Unreal tools to unpack the UPKs and take everything directly from there. And also, just using the mesh rip function, you can go find a symbol that you like. T, look at that. Find a symbol you like on a wall somewhere. You can rip it and use it in your renders. However, do note that it will come out completely screwed on colors and transparency data. So, that's a risk you're gonna have to take, dude. I really don't want to keep this video as long as it is, so I'll just completely skip that. But emission textures will look like these two folder files right here. So whenever you get texture rip, emission textures are just going to be blatantly transparent with little colored bits and everything. Alright, so the growl's loaded in. Now then, this is your vehicle texture set. Similar story as the character, but the difference here is that there's multiple parts for multiple pieces. And before we continue, let's see, this would be here. Okay. Now, a vehicle, when ripped, will come in 4 parts, like a character does. You have, in no necessarily particular order, the interior, export that the same way, exact same way we do characters. It's vehicles, growl, orange, black, enforcers. Let's say close one INT for interior shorts. We have the wheels. Mind you, every time you do a vehicle rip from the editor, it'll always appear in this particular order. Or at least for me it does. WHLS for wheels. This is clearly the body. So click export BODY for body. And the glass happens to be the same story as the eyelashes. You want to just scroll all the way down to the bottom and then just look for something. Eyelashes are always 11 kilobytes, but glass can sometimes vary. It's usually over 20 though. Here's glass. Yes, this one is 75. And I think this is the vehicle's glass and anything, which always comes separate. This goes here, so GASS. And, well, done with noises now. So, textures. As you can see, actually, I think this is because of how the editor now works. There are two sets of interior textures. Well, diffuse textures, anyways. This is also the interior emission setup. And, whoops. That's actually, I can close that now. Interior textures, and then, okay, these are the interior diffuse textures. These, I believe, all of the diffuse textures contain specular data in them, so they will always come out like a semi-transparent looking color. All of the normals contain alpha data. And in addition to that, stop clicking on our file. This file is the break disk transparency set, I believe. At least that's what I'm led to believe. According to TOS, it doesn't have any transparency on it, but I guess if you invert the colors, it'll come out as an actual transparency mask for the brake discs on all cars. You only need one, really, for all your cars because it's the same textures and everything. However, I have noticed on the Kurai the wheels are broken. And those have yet to be fixed. So if you're using a Kurai and you're running into issues, it's because those are actually broken. Let's see. These are, well, these very faint ones are your normals. No body normals probably here. Nope, that's the interior normals. Completely transparent for some reason. It's interior normals. Your wheel normals. Your body normal. And, well, that's all for normals. The interior contains the engine as well. So, take, the interior contains the interior, the trunk, and the engine. The body only contains the exterior. The wheels only contain the wheels and the brake discs. The calipers are a part of the body too. And everything. So these are your wheel diffuse textures. And as you can see, they're quite transparent. Now, they do not always come out like this. A lot of the times, they will come out completely transparent like the normal for the interior over here is. So you can't tell what's what. But one trick of telling what goes where is your wheel normals. You will almost always, if not completely always, be capable of seeing your wheel normals. And right next to your wheel normals is generally a cloud texture, which I believe is used for specular cube map, and then this blank empty, and then your wheel textures are right next to that. So to the right of your normal texture will almost always be your wheel diffuse. Two textures, either one or two textures over to the right. Your wheel texture will always be bigger, as big as everything else is, minus that those empty ones. Let's see, got that done. This is your vehicle diffuse, which contains all the color, contains the specular, and it's mapped the same way that your vehicle normals are, and the emission map and everything is. It's all mapped together. So if you do UV editing, you're gonna fuck something up. And then your license plate is right there. You can Photoshop some custom text into that and other things. That's it for textures. So what we do is take all the textures, you just control click each and every one. So that one, and then just drag and drop. And then that's it. You have everything you need for your vehicle. Weapons, right quick. Weapons only come as a single model. Well, what do we really have? Let's do this. Now, some weapons can differ from others. I will say that now. But you will almost always have a weapon normal. And just so you know, sometimes they come out elongated like this. This is the full size. They'll come out elongated like this. Sometimes they'll come out in a perfect square. Other times they'll come out as something else even. But they'll almost always, a lot of the newer guns will have this elongated format, while older ones like Star 556, the Antec, will have square setups. And weapon textures, let's zoom in on this. As you see, we have this is your RBG. These two are your RBGs. This one is just plain color, I believe. Or it might contain some alpha data. These both, I believe, contain alpha data. Channels, yeah, this one contains alpha, be transparency. And then this one contains specular and also has scratches contained into it. However that works. Yeah, it's specular, as you can see, and then all the scratches and stuff for the gun. That's going to be a pain in the ass to separate. Huh? And then the gun itself has its own specular. That's actually really confusing. This, I'm pretty sure this does contain some form of specular data and everything, but if anything, it's weapon scratches at the very least. This is your weapon specular, which will be in grayscale. Not every weapon has a specular. I think there's one or two weapons that don't have speculars. So take that as a main. If you don't get one with your weapon rip, if you do rip a weapon, or if the weapon you pull from, I guess, Bridget's pack doesn't have a specular in it, it just doesn't have a specular, and you gotta suck it up. Your diffuse will always be white because of how the weapon skin system in the APB works. Anything, so we'll always have a white diffuse. It might have some color bits, as you can see. There's a scope here, a bullet in the magazine here. You know, everything is either black or white or some in between, but we'll always have white. And then there's, you know, a specular, diffuse, normal, and the way it's, I believe, set up is this would be RBG 1, which contains most of the color. Color set 1, I guess is what we could call that, and will contain your transparency for certain parts of the weapon, if need be. This is RBG 2, which contains the other half of the gun's color setup, and also contains the scratches for the gun in the alpha data, which is why it looks the way it does. And that's the specular. This would be your weapon model, and when put together, load it up with Blender here real quick, you'll get something like this. And this is essentially what the gun would look like. Unless it's all one model, can change the color of different parts of it. You can see, you know, whatever color you want. Let's go here to this, bamboozle. Every single color set, you know, when set up properly. You know, this is what a cycle users have to put up with. Anything, but you know, maybe if you use Maya or 3ds Max, you know, it might be a little different. I know Jins has stuff. I'll actually stuff. That is for the next video if I ever do one soon. TM. And yeah, that's really it. Actually, it's is characters, weapons, and vehicles. It's all basics. Alright, this is all for ripping stuff. The Blender specific stuff will come at a later time because stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. Yeah. Oh, I do plan on making, I think, what, well, I'll make 2 more videos, and it'll either be characters plus getting weapons set up in Blender cycles, or it'll be vehicles and getting weapons set up in Blender cycles. It depends on how I want to go about things. And yeah, that's really it. So I guess hopefully, if I do, well, hopefully I can actually get my stuff. I should really write this stuff down and everything. So I'll try to get my shit organized and hopefully get some more videos up. That way people can do things and stuff. So, you know what? Stuff. Lots of stuff. Read the manual, please.